Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning back in Relevant Jukebox, and today I'm back with another installment in my vinyl collection series going over the entire thing A to Z, 10 random records at a time. So it's been pretty quiet overall in the music release field nowadays, at least this month, so not really too much new stuff to talk about, but you know, we got a nice 10 batch of records here to go over, and I'll probably have another one coming out soon. But yeah, let's kick it off with a big one, actually. This one's out of print. It's Saba, it's Care For Me. So this is the only way you can get this on vinyl. It was issued through Vinyl Me Please, and I believe it is out of 1,000. And this thing sold out, you know, just about upon release, and is going for crazy money now, which is wild, because, you know, it's a good record, definitely, but, you know, upwards of $300 it's commanding is pretty insane. It did come with a lot of nice extras. You know, it's got this, I didn't poke it out yet, but it is a stencil for Care For Me. So, you know, you could spray paint that somewhere. It also came with a pretty nice collector's booklet here. It's got all the lyrics inside, you know, some more artwork, you know, stuff like that, which is pretty nice. And the vinyl is a gray LP. So nice that it's colored vinyl. You know, Vinyl Me Please always does a pretty spectacular job with their vinyl releases, in my opinion. And this one's no exception. It's a really nice presentation overall. Haven't really heard much from Saba since the release of this album, so I'm pretty curious to hear what a follow-up would sound like. Not really quite sure, but, you know, who knows? Next up here is a record that, in my opinion, just has not aged that well, actually. I don't know, but I still have it for some reason. And that's Mitski's Be the Cowboy. Yeah, I mean, I get asked about Mitski a lot. I think she's a decent songwriter. Don't get me wrong. She definitely has some good material. And this record, I think, I really liked it when it came out. Here's the gatefold, which the art direction is actually really cool on this release overall. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I revisited it recently because I was like, maybe I'll toss that in the vinyl update. And, you know, I listened to it and I was like, man, this is just not as good as what I thought it was. I mean, the songs are just really scant overall. I don't know. I mean, that's just me. But here's the inner sleeve. I took it out because, you know, I mean, I have it in a Mophie sleeve now, but, you know, kind of cool that there was more artwork on the inner sleeve. That is really nice. And this was an indie exclusive. It was limited to, I actually don't really know how many, but it's on a Coke bottle clear vinyl, which is a really nice presentation overall. It sounds good. You know, nice labeling as well that matches that inner sleeve. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what Mitski's going to do in a follow-up to this one. I mean, she's kind of gone MIA. And I think that was mainly from touring and just like a lot of stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what a follow-up is going to be like to this album, because it is kind of stylistically all over the place. Oh, and this thing did come with like a major, like a huge Mitski poster. Like, I mean, who the hell is going to hang that up? I mean, I have no idea. It is way too big, but you know, it came with the vinyl. Moving right along here, I have the first Run the Jewels album, Run the Jewels. You know, pretty solid album from Run the Jewels. Not my favorite Run the Jewels release, but, you know, this one is a good one. This was a limited pressing, too. I want to say it was out of 700. I am not entirely sure on that, so somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. It did come with a cool poster right here, and it also did come with, like, an iron-on patch, which I don't really know where that is, but I did get it in here. And it's a gold vinyl, or like a translucent kind of gold-looking, yellowy kind of thing. Yeah, really nice labeling. Again, this was limited. I don't remember how much, though. I want to say it was 700, but I'm probably way off there. Next up here, I have 9 Inch Nails, Bad Witch, the EP. Yeah, this one was pretty good. I like that it was a little bit noisier. You know, a lot of the recent 9 Inch Nails material has been very hit or miss, in my opinion. But I did enjoy this. I think this might be my favorite thing that they've dropped recently. And this one's just a black vinyl. Really thick pressing, though. It's got at least 150 gram. Nice labeling to match the cover out there. But yeah, you know, I'm kind of curious what's going to happen with 9 Inch Nails. I mean, the last, like, those 2 albums they put out were not that great. At least in my opinion. But who knows? I mean, there's There's a lot of Nine Inch Nails material out there. Next up here, I have Arcade Fire's Reflektor. Here's a release that I feel like divided the fan base when it came out. You know, I think a lot of people were really into the more, you know, disco direction, electronic direction. A lot of people weren't. I can totally understand why. Cool gatefold on this one. Yeah, I don't know. This record is good, but you know, it's another one that I feel like hasn't aged as well as some of the other Arcade Fire releases. You know, I don't really revisit too many outside of Funeral nowadays, to be honest. Here's the vinyl. It's black vinyl over here. But, you know, there are still some really decent tracks on here, I think. Some fun ones. You know, Flashbulb Eyes, Reflektor's a decent track. Here Comes the Night. Yeah, I mean, there's some good tracks on here. I don't know. Some people hate on it a little too much, maybe. Next up here, I have JSON's Anak Ko. Pretty sweet little singer-songwriter album over here that came out on Polyvinyl a couple years ago. Yeah, I don't know. I think JSON's a pretty good songwriter. This album, you know, might not blow you away, but there's some really decent tracks on it for sure. There's a gatefold here. Peace Out being my favorite of those tracks. You know, this was a little bit more cohesive than Everybody Works was, sonically at least. But I kind of wish she would experiment a little bit more, hopefully on a future release like she did on Everybody Works. I kind of grew to appreciate that side of her songwriting. Here's the vinyl. Vinyl looks really cool. It's like a red and like white splatter. I don't know. It's kind of orangey. It matches the cover art really nicely, though. Polyvinyl always puts out some really top-notch vinyl presses, I think. Next up, I have the Go Team's Thunder Lightning Strike. This is a, you know, release that has somewhat of a cult following, I feel like. Maybe a small cult following. I enjoy it. I think it's pretty good. I don't revisit it that much, honestly. I picked this up because it came out on Record Store Day a few years back. It was actually the first time that it was ever released on vinyl, so I was like, all right, I should grab it. It was pretty limited. My record store only had like a couple copies, so I got one of them. And it's a really awesome looking vinyl. I mean, just about a dream come true for what you'd want it to look like. It's a red and yellow color in color pressing. So it looks awesome. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just, for some reason, this record overall just kind of like, I don't know, there's a lot of sound bleed to it. Like, maybe, I mean, I would love to hear the Go Team, you know, maybe revisit some of this early stuff and put out a new record, maybe with a slightly better recording, but yeah, I don't know. This record's pretty good, though. Next up, I got Denzel Curry's Taboo. You know, really good Denzel. Probably his best album so far. I mean, I think it's pretty solid. I've been hearing a lot about him recently, how he's like changing up his sound a lot though, which is interesting because I feel like he doesn't really have a specific sound. I don't think, at least from each one of his records. So, you know, we could be surprised on a new one. Nice little inner sleeve here. That's got a nice photo of him and some credits on the back there. And this was a limited release again. There's a lot of presses of this. This was the indie record store exclusive, I believe it was. It's translucent red with some white in it. I believe they called this the slushy pressing. So pretty cool. Doesn't exactly look like a slushy, but I could see where they're coming from, I suppose. Next up here, I got Built to Spill's There's Nothing Wrong with Love. An early Built to Spill record. This one is like a fan favorite. I guess you kind of had to be there. I mean, I was way too young when this released. I believe in like 93 or 94 or something like that to really like appreciate it when it came out, obviously. But I don't know. This isn't one of my favorite Built to Spill albums, honestly. One of my least favorites, actually. I don't know. It just doesn't stand out in the discography as much for me, which again, I get reamed out for that opinion a lot. And this was a reissue. It was long out of print, very expensive, very hard to find. But, you know, it came out in a nice deluxe edition here. It's yellow with some white marbling in there to match the cover out really nicely. So this one was long overdue to get repressed. And I'm somewhat of a completionist, especially with bands like Built to Spill. I wanted to have all their albums on vinyl, so that's why I have it. But truthfully, it's one of the least spun ones. And rounding out this batch of records here, I got a hardcore record from Mountain Man, Grief. This one here, kind of obscured maybe nowadays. They're not a band anymore. And this is a concept album. I do believe somebody in the band or somebody that was directly associated with the band had passed away, and this entire LP brings you through the stages of grief, which is kind of an interesting concept. It definitely makes sense when you're listening to it. Here's like the little booklet that it came with. So it's got some artwork in there, and I believe it's got some lyrics and some credits and stuff like that. But yeah, this one, you know, it's a little power violence-y. They're shorter track lengths. You know, they get really aggressive and loud at times, but also like mellow too. It's very interesting. I think that's why it like caught my ear. Some of the hooks on here with the guitar melodies are really nice. And this was a limited maroon press. I do believe this one's pretty limited. I think there's 100. I don't remember exactly. But I picked it up early on when it came out. And yeah, it's just one of those albums. I don't know, like it's kind of got like this mystique that surrounds it, I feel like, when you're listening to it. But, you know, if you were into like Ceremony or Trash Talk and like, maybe those aren't great examples or comparisons, but again, a lot of like thrashy punk going on here, a lot of like hardcore power violence mix up. You know, this is a decent record. I definitely suggest giving it a listen if you're into hardcore. Yeah, so yeah, that's going to do it for this batch of records for my vinyl collection update. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back soon with another one. Hope everybody's safe. Hope everybody is doing well. If you like this video, make sure to like and share. Really helps make the channel go a long way. And if you want more content from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Peace.